Let me know when we live. Cut this music. Yeah. Shalom, y'all. God, it's the Isupk. Started out at 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, under command of Junior Hunter, man. And this is the Isupk-St. Louis classroom. We getting it in, you understand? Of course, the recent events going on, you know what I mean? Everybody has got their eyes on the election, man. You understand? And among other topics that we should be actually dealing with. This here topic is one of the biggest topics that destroy our people, man. You understand? And somehow, some way, our people just find a way to put their nose where it doesn't belong. What I mean by that, I mean blacks, Hispanics, and natives have included themselves in more debacle when it comes to trying to elect a new slave master. I mean, Salakia, trying to elect a new president. Because that's exactly what the hell we are doing when we are jumping about praising one evil over the next. You understand? You see all over the internet, people are giving their opinions about these two different groups, Democrats, Republicans, and who they should vote for. That is an issue. Problem is, it's a white issue. Right. It's not an issue for black people. It's not an issue for Hispanic people. It is not an issue for Native Indians. If the Native Indians who are buried under this earth right now, under the city streets, under Wall Street, under New York, under California, under Mexico, under any place that you can probably imagine they were, if they could be asked right now who would they vote for, who would you think they would say? They would vote for none. Go ahead, Doc.
Salakia, I would say they would vote to kill them all.
To kill them all. You understand, Salakia? Of course, we don't advocate for violence, but of course we know what the Native Indian would say, because this is foresight. This will be foresight, because the Native Indian has now realized its doom. You understand? And what they have done historically to them and their people. You understand? But right now, our people seem like they have no clue. You understand? They have no understanding of what's to come. And we've been here 400 years. You've been here 400 years in captivity. First off, let's start the story off right. You were ran out of your own land under the persecution of the Romans into West Africa. Those Africans' land who you invaded and spread out in, they ran you out of there like roaches. You understand? They captured you. They then took you and sold you for liquor, for young women, for gunpowder. They sold you for nothing to your slave masters, man.
That's right.
You understand? And then they sold you, put you on ships like spoons, forks, and knives in your silverware drawer on top of one another. And you were forced to take this journey to America, which was a 1.5 year journey. You were forced to lay there while your sisters became on their menstrual periods. You were laid there while brothers who probably had never been on a ship became seasick. You laid there while brothers had to defecate, sisters had to use the bathroom. We were laid there in our own filth for over 1.5 years. You made a journey. With that whole journey you made over here, let me tell you one thing you had intact. You still had your dignity intact with all that they did to you. You still had understanding to know that these people are your enemies.
Right.
You understand? You understood that these people were very abusive and abrasive to your nation of people. You got here in America, your backs were beaten until you forgot your own history.
Right.
They gave you what they deemed necessary to make you a slave. See, you brothers who claim y'all blackity black, y'all be all, y'all know all this truth, y'all know all this history, and y'all love saying the first book that you was given when you was able to read in slavery was the Bible. That's a goddamn lie.
Right.
You understand? You understand? You would have your eyes burnt out if you were caught reading the goddamn Bible. So
That's right.
you understand? Our people have yet to understand this, and every so-called black historian comes up and say, oh man, this is the first thing, then we all going to do what? Throw the Bible away. You understand? But the Bible has your liberation in it. The Bible has the spirit that men should have in order to free themselves from tyranny, in order to free themselves from imprisonment, in order to free themselves from oppression, and in order to free themselves from captivity. It's all in this book. So I want you to understand something. What the white man gave you was his rendition of the Bible. He gave you a portion of the Bible which you could not understand. You go and read the scriptures, the Lord said he spoke to his people with a stammering tongue, and in another, with a stammering lips and in another tongue. You understand? Meaning, he's going to speak to us in a language we didn't understand. And the white man betted on this. So he gave us a portion of the Bible and told us that if we did not remain good slaves unto death, we would not see heaven. You understand? Which was a total lie. You understand? The Lord does not want you to stay a good slave. You understand? And when you brothers are running about trying to convince your other brothers to vote for the lesser of two evils, I'm going to tell you something. You are being a good slave. You understand? That's exactly what you're doing. You're remaining a good slave. Even in the age of information where you could get history, you can find out that voting has done absolutely nothing for their people.
That's right.
I'm talking about absolutely diddly squat. It's done nothing for your people, man. You could actually take the time to find this out, but guess what? You've been told not to look that up. You've been told that if you want to have an opinion, you need to make a vote. If you want to have your voice heard, you need to make a vote. First off, let's understand something. Your vote does not make the vote, or it's not how they pick the president.
Right.
You understand? The Electoral College picks the president. You understand? What they're doing to you with the vote is what you call the illusion of inclusion. They're making you believe that you are a part of a society that is built to destroy you. You got a question now? Go ahead.
It's a lot of other real. I don't know what you were saying. Like, since I think 1980, no Republican president has been elected by the vote.
Right.
They have all been elected by the Electoral College.
Exactly.
Like, so if your vote actually mattered, there wouldn't have been a Republican president since Reagan.
Exactly.
So you go out there and you think your vote, if we would have more people voting, Trump wouldn't have won. Trump didn't win the vote. He won the Electoral College.
Right.
So they picked your president for you before you even had anything to do with it.
Exactly. Hey, that's a heavy point. Because that's something I keep trying to tell brothers, man. These brothers that do all this political study, they believe they are so educated, man. But the one thing they fail to realize is that the work they're putting in to try to get people to vote has been done over and over repetitively with every goddamn election.
Right.
They think black people have not been a part of electing presidents. We have. We've been a major part in electing presidents. You understand? And when I say that, I'm not taking away from what we just brought out, but what I mean is that we went out and voted. We did not sit at home while the voting polls were open. We voted so much till they started to close voting places to keep us from voting. You understand? They started to make issue with something like, wait a minute, let's see what his intellectual side is like before we allow him to vote. You understand? They had to make sure they gave you tests that you had to take before you would be allowed to cast the vote. You understand? These are all obstacles they put up so that you could not vote. So eventually, in, I want to say, the 1800s, the late 1800s, they came up with what? Voting through the Electoral College. You understand? Because guess what? They understood that you Negroes were going to keep voting. Negroes actually voted in the Republican Party at first. When we first got our rights to vote, we voted Republican. You understand? But right now, what they doing? They said the Negroes, they voting Democrat. and everybody's going against what the nigga. We want Republicans. You understand? Because these Negroes, they trying to get this, we trying to get that, but they don't even understand is that we used to be Republicans. We used to be the ones voting for Republicans. You understand? But the thing is this, that these cats that are out here going around telling our people we need to vote, they have truly not really done the research and the history to understand that what they're doing is insanity.
Right.
If you go and look up what insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over and think you're going to get different results. At the end of the day, with any president, they're going to still tell you the same thing. I don't know what's wrong with black people. They need to learn to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. Man. They just can't seem to get it right. You understand? And the problem is this. Black people need to look towards themselves and see what it is that we are not doing and why we cannot come up. It ain't the vote. You understand? It ain't the president that's in office. You understand? The president got no power unless the Lord give him that. You understand? What is it that we're doing? I'm going to tell you what it is we're doing. We refuse to serve the Lord.
Right.
We refuse to serve our power. The white man serving his power is money. And when he serves it, it does him well. You understand? But our power is serving the Lord, man. We got to return back. And we refuse to do that. Brothers do not want to stop selling weed. They don't want to stop smoking weed. They don't want to stop popping pills and drinking syrup. Sisters do not want to stop being Cardi B's and Megan Thee Stallions.
Right.
You understand? They want to be hoes on the pole. There's some hoes in this house. This is what they like. You understand? I remember when sisters used to be mad with rappers because we was calling them hoes and bitches. Salakia, I've never been a rapper, Salakia.
Right.
But when I say we, I mean men. We were calling them hoes and bitches in the raps. Now the sisters have joined in and calling themselves hoes and bitches. That's the outrage that you should understand. But a lot of our sisters won't understand that is the outrage to now that you're no longer being against being called a hoe. You're no longer against that. You with it.
Right.
You know, I'm a hoe. I'm a slut. I'm a BITC, you know what. You understand? So our people have fallen deeper and deeper into a coma and thinking that we need help from another nation. So like if you could, give me that scripture, a nation that could not save us. You understand? We thinking that with us voting in these presidents and these governors, senators, city councilmen, and mayors, we thinking if we just vote black ones in, we can get some black ones in. Y'all just don't know. We've been in office. Like I said, man, this ain't the first time we was in office, man. This ain't the first time we've been, you need to put the vote in. You gotta, black folks gotta vote, man. We voted, we put, I want to say Clinton in office. You understand? If you go back and actually look, the votes that we put in, we all voted for Clinton, and Clinton got in office. We've always been a part. The one thing that I think y'all really don't realize is that they have to keep making you feel like you're a part of the system. It's a feeling. You know, it almost makes you want to go back to the movie The Matrix. It's a feeling you get, saying, oh, I did my part. You understand? But then 5 seconds later, you got to face racism. As soon as you walk out the voting polls, the person say, well, if you don't like it, go back to Africa. You understand? How could you feel as if your vote is going to change that? How do your vote change that? You understand? I don't get it. What is it that about black people that makes them feel like we're gonna love somebody out of hating us?
Right.
I'm gonna love you enough. I'm gonna participate in your wars. You understand? I'm gonna vote in your elections. You understand? I'm going to do all that I can to make you understand I'm patriotic, I'm a part of America, and I love you. Go ahead, Al.
Hey, that's Christianity.
Damn right.
That's what that is. That's
right.
what Christianity do to you.
Damn.
Only the Negro, only the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Yeah.
It don't do that to white man.
Right.
He don't give no care about nothing you talking about.
You ain't lying.
But see, you worship white Jesus, that's what happens to you.
God.
Did you want that scripture?
Go ahead, get that to me.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17.
Go ahead.
As for us,
Hold up. That right there, the beginning of that script separates us from everybody.
Right.
That says right there, as for us. Now we We got the other nations, but they separated in this scripture. It says, as for us, keep reading.
Our eyes as yet fail for our vain help.
Hold on, our eyes will not fail. We go every day. We gonna keep every election. We keep voting. They haven't yet failed. We gonna keep voting. We gonna keep waiting. They gonna get it right. We just gotta put more votes in. We gotta get ourselves together. We gotta all come together and vote our way in. We gonna vote away oppression. Hold on, Doc, you ain't did it the way they talking about doing it. There's a new man in town. Let's follow him. Let's do what he said. Our eyes have yet failed. Keep reading.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
The Lord just gave you a problem. Right. In your watching, you're watching for a nation that can't save you. This nation that you're watching for can't do nothing for you, man. It can't do nothing for you, man. What the hell do we look like? Continue to look for the nation that puts us in the news to now take us down out of it.
Right.
You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for my brother. Hey, brother, you see them putting this noose on my neck? Help me out.
Right.
You understand? Don't let them do this to me. I'm looking for my brother. I'm not looking for their presidents. You understand? For the men of their monuments. For the men of their high statures and high society and the people of their goddamn mortars. I'm not looking for their heroes. I'm looking for ours, man. Where are our black men that are going to stand up and say, to hell with oppression, to hell with being held down by the vices that they give us, man, to destroy us, man? You understand? What are the men are going to stand up and say, man, no more voting? You know what we're going to do? We're going to put our lives in check. We're going to change our lives. We're going to go back and look up the history and find out who it is that is our king, who it is that is our power. And you'll find out it's the Most High in Christ, man. You understand? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should be looking for. Because if we go back to follow him, ourselves we can fix. We can fix ourselves, man. You understand? We can fix ourselves and we don't have to look for vain help. That vain help that we look for. Is that all man?
No.
Alright, that's cool. But you know what I'm saying? That's the thing. We gotta look for that vain help, man. When the Lord has already told you, giving you specific instructions, we refuse not to follow. We refuse not to follow the instructions, man. Give me Deuteronomy 17. Read this what I want. Deuteronomy 17, verse 15. That's the problem, man. That's our problem. We continue to look, man. Who is going to save us? Why would I save you when I'm building my country off your back?
Right.
I'm not pulling you out that ditch. Keep digging. I need you to get it deeper. I'm trying to make a tall structure. I want this one taller than the last. You understand? I need that foundation 20 feet deep. What are you doing? Now, could you please save me, sir? Saving you from what? I'm giving you water. I'm giving you bread. I'm giving you a 15-minute break.
Right.
You ain't getting saved out of this hole. Keep digging.
Damn right.
You understand? That's what you getting, man. And they looking for another slave master. And then, not to mention, the bamboozling that we have been suffering. Listen, something black people need to learn about, and that's colorism. Colorism makes black people believe that anything that has the same skin tone as them, they are related. We are family.
Right.
You understand? And that's a goddamn lie, man. It is a plague on our people, man, and we get bamboozled every time. That's how they got Barack Obama in there.
Right.
Barack Obama watched more niggas on his watch be murdered than any other president. Right. Negroes were being murdered left and right by the cops, by the authority that is supposed to protect us. We were being murdered in cold blood. He did not institute one federal investigation on any cop out there. Not one. You know what he did? He freed a couple niggas from marijuana. The niggas started praising. Oh, he let him out. He let a couple people go for marijuana charges. Niggas thought he was a hero. You know why niggas thought he was a hero? Because we were high.
Right.
You understand? Because we were high on the weed when we saw that.
Right.
We was like, whoo, I ain't got to worry about going to jail under this president. I can smoke all I want. Then next up, what he do? Get your Obama phone. I know you keep your cell phone minutes. You know, you're tired of paying minutes. You know, I know it's hard to pay your cell phone bill. He kept you in touch with the world. He gave you a phone. Then what he do next? You know what? It ain't right that you can't get married. You know what? You're homosexuals. Y'all go get married and be happy.
Right.
That's all he did to us. You know what he did? He further destroyed you. He freed you from prison. He freed you from imprisonment from smoking marijuana and doing things you should not be doing. Then he turned around and gave you a phone to keep you in contact with your dope man. Then he turned Salaki. Then he turned around and told all your homosexual friends they can go get married. All the people that were not homosexuals, that hurted you, because guess what? Now you got the homosexual feeling more empowered. Now he coming after your spouse.
Right.
You understand? Now she coming after your woman. You understand? Y'all thought y'all really was getting something out of this. You just caused more problems in the hood. You just caused more problems in our community, man. Because these are the things that plague us. He didn't help us not one damn bit, man.
Right.
You understand? I can't think of nothing monumental that he did. Go ahead,
I would say that's a lot here, but them phones wasn't even his.
You hear me?
There was the release date was planned. It was scheduled to roll out during his term.
Oh.
Bush signed that in the office.
Oh, okay.
Obama phones was Bush's plan.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
like, I'm like, Obama got credit for that, but he ain't had nothing to do with it. They just happened to drop when he was in office.
Damn, so now you lose a point.
Right, and on top of that, like, that's exactly what they doing again now, like with this new chick, Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah.
Like, just because she our complexion don't mean she our people.
Right. Bamboozled, man.
Like even and I've seen people argue, oh, well, you can't prove that her family was it say that she's Jamaican. Yeah, but in her book that she wrote about her family's history, she said that her great-grandfather was a landowner. Now, this was there in the 1800s in Jamaica.
Right.
And they owned land and farms.
Right.
That was a plantation.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Her father reported that his maternal grandfather and his paternal grandfather were both slave owners.
Right.
Like, it's just like with Bob Marley. Just because they look like they us, they ain't us.
Exactly.
And we get that confused, and we'll accept them, but then we'll start rejecting people who so-called niggas through and through, but they a little light skinned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you albino, you albino, you white.
Right.
Nah, them still are people. You accept the people who ain't us, but they look a little darker.
Right.
But you reject and discriminate on your own people just because they look a little different than you. Like, we the only people that's destroyed. This don't happen with nobody else.
And that's actually a tactic that they know they're using against us.
Right.
They're not doing it and unwittingly doing it. They're doing it and knowing. Look at that. She got a black face.
Mm-hmm.
And she's about locking up niggas.
Right.
Let me get with her. Let me get her in here as my vice president, my VP. Come run with me, girl. We'll tear this place apart. You understand? Go ahead.
And Salaki, she married to an Edomite.
Edomite.
Straight
God.
up and down, receiving the hairline, starting halfway in the middle of his head, Edomite.
God, let's dig in. Hold on, let's dig in on her a little bit. Let's go. Give me that article out. You got that article out? We're gonna go just a tad bit in on her. We ain't gonna go too far in this article. I just want to read a little something because they know that this woman, the history on her is there. It is there. All right.
And the same people who would be mad that you don't want to vote for her would not even look twice at a so-called black man who was married to a white woman.
Exactly.
You hate that. You run them into the ground as you should.
Right.
Just like we should run her into the ground.
Yeah, you gotta do
for marrying a so-called white man.
But you ain't even gotta do that because she ain't a nigga.
You right.
Let her be.
Right.
Let her have her Edomite. We don't give a damn. More power to you. You understand? But just leave us the hell alone. You understand? Don't try to mix us up in your madness. And that's exactly what they're doing, man. They're trying to play on the intelligence of black people. That's why the work that Commander Junior Hahnemann is doing is so important, man.
Right.
You understand? I didn't even know nothing about colorism until I got in this school. I understood that everything that looked at white wasn't white.
Right.
I understood that everything that looked at black wasn't black, but I didn't get it to the point of saying These are totally not my people at all.
Right.
They could look like me and hate me. You understand? By their doctrines, by their ideologies, by their policies. They could hate me. You understand? And have no feeling in their heart because of the simple fact they just don't resonate with us. We're not the same people, so you couldn't feel what I go through no way.
Right.
You understand? It's the same thing with Barack Obama. Barack Obama got himself a black woman, but he's not a black man.
Right.
You understand? So they played us. Look, we fell in love with Michelle. Michelle fine, she all back her husband, he coming out walking cool like he fresh out the hood. This nigga fresh out the jungle.
Right.
He fresh. He fresh out as a woman or something. I don't know. Wherever the hell he from, I know he ain't a Negro. You understand? I know he ain't come from the ghetto, the barrio, the goddamn reservation. I know he ain't from around here. And there's some other ties I heard he's got too. That he's rich, his people are rich. And he's tied in real deep with that. Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, like his father, like I said, he was born in Hawaii, but his father was like is a Kenyan researcher. Like they have money over there. Like
right.
they're not a broke family. Like
right.
Barack Obama spent most of his childhood traveling around the world.
Right.
Like he only got to Chicago after college,
right.
grad school, when he was teaching at the law. Like he was a community organizer in Chicago, yes, after college.
Right.
He didn't grow up in the hood. He grew up going around to Thailand and Europe. I believe he might even, no, that was Clinton, that was a road scholar. But he went to, like, and then his stepfather is like some wealthy Asian dude. Like, he's traveled all around the world, and, like, that's how he spent his life growing up. He did not experience anything that, like, even the people who try to pass off Nipsey Hussle because he lived in the hood. Okay, at least he had living in the hood. Right. Obama ain't even lived in the hood not once. Right. Like when he moved to Chicago, he was already rich. Right. He was already living in Hyde Park. He was living in a nice area. Right. But before that, he was jet setting around the world. He ain't our people in any way besides he married one of our people. Right, man. And I cannot. That's even Negroes I can't really trust. They live like that. They live good like that. Right. It's almost hard to trust them because you know they have no connection to your distress in the hood. Like the things we suffer from, you can see a brother that come up from that and get up high, and then when he gets up high and he forgets about us, what we say, this nigga, you forgot where you came from. Right. But what about the nigga that never was where you came from? Right. It's like this nigga, he ain't even nothing to talk about with him, but we understand why you don't give a damn. Right. You understand? Yeah, you know what I mean? That's like, remember when they had Wayne on trial, they was interviewing Wayne. Wayne said, I don't know nothing about police brutality. Nigga, how you gonna say that? The block is hot. What happened to that song? Who wrote that? You didn't like that? Okay, so we got some kind of problem. Wayne, was you in the hood or not? You know what I'm saying? Well, every video I see with BG and all them cats, you was right there. So that's that money that turns you around. Right. It's like it with him. He had his first platinum album when he was 11. Good. Like, I mean, he was in the hood, but he wasn't struggling for nothing. Right. He didn't have to. Yeah, he had like he had bread his whole life. Yeah, he had some ballers behind him. So maybe, you know what I'm saying? He had some ballers behind him. He was back, so maybe he did then. I take that back. So he lived in the hood, but he had so much money he could isolate himself from those situations. That, like, I remember a story. The only reason, like, for example, he had to drop out of high school because he was making so much money that he had to carry a gun with him to school just to protect himself because he was afraid of the other niggers around him. Like, it's not like he was going there and kicking. No. He was scared that he was going to a school with all niggers. He was going to get robbed by the niggers. So he was carrying a gun to school in his book bag. God. He was in the hood, but he wasn't like in the hood. You know what I'm saying? He didn't live the way anybody else in the hood lives. God. I mean, hey, that's real, man. I guess, like I said, man, it's almost hard for a person to come from a couple of dollars to associate their lifestyle and their upbringing with us of a poor nation, man. Us people that are trodden and beat down, you know what I'm saying, of our nation, is almost hard for them to even understand that. And with that being said, I won't get too far off topic, but we gotta pull Camila, we gotta pull the cover off on Camila.
You understand? She tried to slide in there with that name, Camila. That sound like, that's almost like Carmelo. That sound like a nigga, don't it? Camila Harris at that. What is her daddy's last name? I know you like a historian down there. He great be the historian for this zone. He great turn. He gonna bring our cottons out. This is great be our cottons out right here.
It's Harris. She comes from the her family comes from the Harris and the Brown plantations in Jamaica.
Hold on, you sure? Hold on, you sure? Because I think that because she had like her mother remarried. Her mother remarried after the fact. That she was married to her husband. I think I'm not for sure if he passed away or he left her. But she had I think a second father or a second, her mother had a second husband, I believe. So I'm not for sure that's her actual last name, that's her father's last name, her you know what I'm saying, paternal father, or what? Not sure.
Just British American Donald J. Harris.
Okay.
I don't know.
British American. He was a British American.
Well, it's like a British Jamaican. British Jamaican born American economist.
Good damn night. That's a lot of. See how they try. You see how they slick they are. They try to confuse the hell out of you. This is a British Jamaican. Come on, American. Come on, man. How can you be? That's like saying. I want, that's that Kool-Aid everybody like to make you take the grape, the strawberry, the cherry, and mix it all up in one. What is that even called? You see what I'm saying? You can't give that a name.
Mystery mix.
It's the mystery.
Tilapia, that's brown Kool-Aid.
The brown Kool-Aid, that's how they get it. See, it turned brown, now we think it's nigga Kool-Aid. Tilapia, I'm just kidding. But go ahead, read that article for me so we can get down in here and see where she comes from.
California's tough on crime past haunts Kamala Harris.
Why does it haunt her? Tough on Brown, huh? Why does it haunt her? Let's keep reading.
The Zodiac killer struck first. Then came the Manson family. Later the Hillside Stranglers. The Night Stalker and the Golden State Killer terrorized California. Starting in the late 60s, one lurid murder after another fed public perceptions that crime in California was spiraling out of control.
Now, hold up. So I want you to understand something very typical is, as we reading that, those are not niggas.
Right.
They're not niggas.
Right.
But right then, California seen that crime was spiraling out of control. Keep reading.
Gang shootings turned neighborhoods into combat zones. The crack epidemic ravaged communities.
Hold on, stop right there. The beginning of these gangs also came by way of the CIA.
Right.
Now, it was not a black organization. These black organizations, they started out as organizations to help the community.
Right.
You understand? But when the organizations were infiltrated by a CIA, here comes the latter part, which is the crack epidemic.
Right.
The crack epidemic was introduced into the gangs so that they could be warring over territory to sell their drugs. It's the same tactic they use to take out the Black Panthers. You understand? These are tactics that they have on file, on record to use against us like a program. You understand? That's the same reason why they call the project a project. The project is actually a project. It's really something that they have on file on how to destroy people, man. This is something that they came up with in their think tanks on how to destroy people. Keep reading.
Fear and outrage spawned a raft of harsh sentencing laws. California enacted one of its most punitive 3 strikes and you're out.
Okay, so the thing about the 3 strikes law is this, is that you can have one strenuous, or I don't know if that's the term I want to have, but you can have one harsh crime that you done. True, I get it. Saying, but you living in a city of crime. You understand? You're living in a hard condition where it causes you to sin. You understand? If you starving somebody, how can you fault that man that goes and steals a piece of bread? You can't fault him. You understand? You have to find some empathy and some sympathy for that man. And that's what this law takes away. It takes away empathy for the criminal. When of course, yeah, we do have those who continue on in the same crime that they started in. You understand? But some of these brothers, a lot of these brothers, the crimes end up being way lesser than the first time. You understand? They might get hit hard, and that scares them. It'll scare the hell out of anybody. 3 strikes and I'm out. You know, I'm on my first one. I better not do nothing else, and they get caught up by what you call proxy. You understand? You get caught up because you in that neighborhood. It was a guy that was with you. He had some marijuana or he had something, and there goes your second strike. Now you walk in a tight rope, and the pressure's on. But guess what else is on? The starvation is on. Surviving in the ghetto without a job is on. You understand? Because you're a felon, you can't have a job now. That's the part they don't let everybody understand, is that once you become a felon, it becomes hard for you to get a job. At this time, you couldn't get a job. Nobody was hiring felons. You understand? You had to work at a car wash, or you had to work somewhere where they like damn near paid you under the table.
Right.
You understand? You almost couldn't go in and fill out an application and say, I'm a felon, and whoop you, and then we're going to call you back. No, if you're a felon, okay, well, it was nice talking to you. You see your way out. You understand? That's how they treat the felons. But when they give you the 3 strikes law, man, that is harsh, man. Go ahead,
It's like, if I may, also addiction.
Oh.
A lot of people on drugs.
Exactly. And as you see, they didn't offer us any goddamn help with that, man. You understand? When you in them 3 strikes and you own them drugs, they didn't offer us any help like they did these devils that ended up on these opioids.
Right.
When these opioids hit, they didn't give out harsher sentences and more punishment for people caught with opioids and prescription drugs. What they did was offer them counseling, and they offered them a way out, AA meetings and all kinds and sorts of doctors and all manner of help. Go ahead, Doc.
So you mean they actually know how to rehabilitate?
Wait a minute, they do?
Apparently so.
They know how to rehabilitate some people.
Right.
You understand? They only know how to, and they only know how to destroy some people.
That's
You understand? And that's what these folks that want to vote don't realize, is that the help is delegated to these people. The destruction is delegated to these people. There's somebody who has got to be the receiver of the good thing of America, and then there's somebody who's got to be the receiver of all of the worst and the bad that America has to offer. You understand? Black people are still not understood that's them. They watch these reality shows and TV shows and things like that and think, I got a chance in America. I can make it. I'll be all right. I just got to have my chance. I got to take the opportunities that come to me. Yeah, that's what every drug dealer thought before this 3 strikes law came. He was trying to take that opportunity, but then they snatched away his opportunities and then turned around and gave him drugs and say, now become an entrepreneur. Now become a businessman. And what did he do? He snatched that opportunity thinking he was going somewhere, landed him in jail, and now he's facing 3 strikes. And like you said, on top of addiction, that's a heavy point you brought out. On top of addiction, you ain't gonna win, dog. You might as well call him out now. You understand? That's a foul. Call him 4 fouls, he out, man. You might as well just go on and give it up.
Right.
With addiction and then you ain't got nobody to help you, you're going to destroy yourself. You understand? Keep reading that out.
3 strikes and you're out after one parolee killed 18-year-old Kimber Reynolds of Fresno in 1992.
Now I wonder, Salaki, my bad, I'm gonna keep cutting you off, but I wonder if Kimber was a white man or a white woman for that instance. I don't know, Kimber, I'm not for sure, when these devil names, they name one Connor, it'd be a woman. You understand? Ain't no telling. They got what they call unisex names. But Kimber, that almost sounds like a white woman. That's the only time they enact laws.
Right.
When something happened to white people. That's why you got the Amber Alert. That was a white.
Right.
That was a white woman. You understand? That's the only time they make laws. You understand? When something, oh no, not a white woman. You niggas can die all day long, but this white woman, we ain't having that. Go ahead, out.
Salaki, Kimber Reynolds was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Edomite.
Good damn night, man. You understand?
Looks like she was about in her early 20s as well.
Good damn night. A moment of silence for Kimber. Let's keep talking.
Right, that's
We
right.
ain't got no time for that nonsense, man. A moment of silence for the brother who went to jail on the 3 strikes, man, after killing this devil, man.
That's right.
You understand? Go ahead, Out.
Edomite did it.
Oh, man. And wait a minute. Hold up, man. Hold up. Now, wait a minute now. A devil did the killing.
Sloppy, this was white on white crime, sir.
Why? I was here, and you beat me to the. Hey, I perceive you to be a prophet, You understand? You beat me to the punch, man. That's what I was just about to get on. I was about to say, now wait a minute. The white on white crime ended up being the reason why we go to jail?
God, for life.
For life? Keep reading now. This is getting better and better. You know what, for the record, I didn't even read this whole article out, man. I skimmed through it, read some points. I didn't read it, but the things that are coming out of this article, we ain't even got from the first 2 paragraphs is heavy, man. Keep reading now.
And another kidnapped and killed 12-year-old Polly Klotz of Sonoma County a year later.
No doubt that is a devil. No doubt. I ain't even gonna waste your time over there. I ain't gonna waste your time. No doubt that is a devil. You understand? Keep reading now.
We're going to start turning career criminals into career inmates.
Wait a minute. They slid that in there like we don't understand that language. A career is just what it is. This is a job. So you telling me now they're gonna make money for somebody. You understand? They're gonna have a career making money in these damn prisons, man. We're going to turn career criminals because criminals making money in this career. They only in the career of being a criminal because they making dividends. They making ends. So now we're going to turn them into career inmates. They're going to work for us. You understand? They're going to beat these plates. They're going to sew these garments. They're going to make these Nikes. They're going to do whatever the hell we need them to do here, and they're going to do it for 15 cents an hour.
All right.
Well, what's the going rate in the state? Anybody know what they getting paid for these jobs, man? I know it ain't nothing. I know it's probably 2 tiers in a bucket. You understand? I'm pretty sure they ain't giving them nothing right now, man. Keep reading now.
Kind. Republican Governor Pete Wilson declared in 1994 the state's strengthening criminal penalties drove a surge in the state's prison population over 30 years.
Drove a surge in over 30 years. But did it pick up on white crime? Let's see, keep reading.
Beginning in the 1970s under both Republicans and Democrats, including Kamala Harris.
Including who?
Kamala Harris.
Oh, here we go. Let's keep reading.
Who became a prosecutor in 1990. A tough on crime political culture flourished in California.
Yeah, this is when it was going down back then. Who was the president in the 1990? Was it Clinton? Because I think Reagan went out in '89. When did Reagan go out? Was that Clinton? Bush?
1990, yeah, that was Bush.
That was Bush. Okay, so Bush. All right. So we right where we need to be, man. We get ready to see how tough it got. You understand how tough they were on crime. Keep reading.
And African Americans were hit hardest. Their incarceration rate remains more than 5 times their share of California's population.
Go ahead, Al.
So I just wanted to make sure I threw out there. Bush was the head of the CIA when they were putting crack in black neighborhoods, and was the president when they instituted the 3 strikes law to put blacks in jail for selling the crack that he put in the black neighborhoods. Just put that out there.
It's like, man. Come on, man. How you gonna make ends on both ends? You double dipped. You gonna make money putting it out there, then money cleaning it up. The white Salakia, the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
You understand me, man? Who is that? Who else could be that diabolical, man? You understand? I'm gonna destroy y'all on both ends. I'm gonna give you the dope. I want you to sell it to your mama, your children, your aunties, your cousins, the pregnant women in your family, the strong men. I want you to get them strong men nice and high. And once you do that, you're gonna have plenty of money. But don't worry, 'cause I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna take you to jail for all that money you got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that money ain't gonna buy you a lawyer. You understand? That money. Hey, go ahead. I know you got a point. Go ahead.
That money is not evidence. We gonna take it.
Oh
and put it
man,
to the,
good night.
precinct.
Hey, and then when we take it to the evidence room, ta-da! We did a magic trick. It disappeared.
God.
It's buying the chief of police brand new yacht. a boat. He got his bass boat in the moment. You feel me? Hey, they confiscating the guns. Hey, the cop told me that they see guns they like, they might keep them.
Yeah.
I literally heard that come out of a cop's mouth. If it goes down to the evidence room, this is something we like, we might keep it.
Right.
You might not never get the letter report, because I got a gun missing that got stolen out of one of my vehicles. And I went and put a report in. You know, they tried to come at me like I was a criminal. He said, I don't want you to know. He's like, I said, my gun was stolen. Well, did you have it locked up? I said, yeah, it was locked in my car. You understand? He was like, nah. He's like, did you have it locked away? I was like, yeah, it was locked in my glove box. You understand? The devil. I knew he was getting at something when he said that. He said, I just want you to know, because if your weapon got stolen and then it goes out and somebody commits a violent crime with it, we can persecute you. I said, well, goddamn, I'm coming for help. You ready to persecute me now? You ready to hang me now?
Right.
You understand? I can't even write the report, get you to write the report up before you tell me you're going to lock me up for getting my gun stolen. Let me let you know something. I don't fear that. Just get my gun. You understand? Write this report up so that when this weapon comes here, you don't stash it in your pocket or in your evidence and take it home with you, man.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead, Al.
It's it's not just guns. It's
Oh.
everything.
Oh, I know.
They do it with cars, boats,
Oh, yeah.
houses,
Oh, yeah.
anything. If they say that, we found drugs near it.
Right.
Oh, they keep that as
And,
evidence.
and I want you to understand something too. That's actually something that they do around the southern states, around Mexico. They actually do that. And a lot of people have lost property because it doesn't take much for them to be able legally, and then they change the law, but to be able legally to take and confiscate your property. It doesn't take much. And then they changed the law, but guess what? The cops were still doing it. After they changed the law that said they couldn't confiscate your goods for certain things, they still were doing it. So it's people right now today, Hispanic brothers and sisters right now today, fighting to get cars back. That they were actually just a family. They wasn't selling drugs or anything, but because you felt if there was something suspicious, you took their products, or their, not their products, but their property. You took what belonged to them, that they worked hard for. You understand? That's the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. But they say that's how the government stacks up and has a surplus of money, vehicles, and all types of things, but yet they always talk about the cops need more funds. The cops need more funds. No, they need to cash out. They need to stop going to all these lavish vacations and buying bass boats and, you know what I'm saying, getting the newest high-tech weapon that come out. You need to cash out and put them back into the damn place, or either give these people their money back, because that's all you're doing is you're hoarding the cash and the property that you get from the drugs. Half of the time, the property and stuff they take is worth more than the drugs. You understand? It's worth more than the evidence that they so-called are using to persecute these people with. You understand? Keep reading now.
Colonel McConnell. The crackdown on crime swept most of the country, but California stood out as one of the most aggressive states.
One of the most aggressive states. Now, this woman was over California. As a vice president, what you over? Over the whole country. If it was aggressive in California, imagine what's going to happen when she get in office. Now, and you Negroes is voting.
Right.
I'm going to pick from lesson 2 evils. Trump made you so irritated. It's almost the same thing Barack Obama did to white America. Barack Obama irritated the hell out of white folks. That's why they couldn't wait to get him out of there. And when they got Trump, it was like their revenge. They almost didn't care about Trump's politics. You understand? They almost didn't care. It was just that we get now a chance to be vindicated. And then Trump had all his racist rhetoric that he was putting out during his campaign. Oh, they was in love. They was like, we finally got a chance. We finally got a chance to go in on these Negroes for what they done to us. Go ahead, huh?
So I don't think it was that they didn't care. It was that, oh look, this dude is actually saying what the hell we've been thinking.
Exactly.
Because Karens came out of the woodwork.
Man.
They've been out here, but they didn't feel emboldened. They didn't feel powerful enough to be able to do it until the president started doing it. They're like, oh, we can just say whatever the hell we want to say.
Right.
Then it's fine. Well, I've been holding back for years.
Man.
Like,
I've been wanting to get this off my chest.
They've been waiting on this exact same damn thing. And like you were saying, and like you bring it up with her, this 3 strikes law. I mean, nationally, Joe Biden was the one who pushed it in the White House.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, what y'all doing is y'all finna link up a tandem of actual people who want to lock black folks away.
Right.
They want to lock you away. And they doing it with a smile on their face. He's smiling and cheesing at Negroes, and they just as stupid as they want to be. You understand?
Like I said earlier, I was reading the comments on Facebook. It was this one. I literally became sick to my stomach.
Uh-huh.
It was a young black woman was like, well, you know how sometimes when mothers are harder on their daughters because they want them to do better. Like, well, maybe she's just harder on black men because she wants them to do better. By putting them in jail for the rest of their life?
Wait. By locking away the men who are going to make the next generation do better. You need the fathers to make them do better.
That's where our people are at. That's what they thinking right now.
Listen, our people they don't think. You know who needs to do the thinking? Commander Junior Honda needs to do the thinking for black people.
That's right.
You understand? Shut up, like Jeremiah Hyman say, shut your damn mouth, man. You understand? Don't open your mouth, man. Whatever you thinking, keep it inside your dome. Do not open your lips. Go ahead, Doc.
They want us to do better, but they the same ones who put drugs in the community. The reason we in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
They're the reason.
Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, they're the reason we have drugs inside the community, the reason we have poverty, the reason guns are in the community.
Right.
They set up the whole structure for us to fail, but they want us to do better.
Right. How's you saying that's at the same time you pulling at my foot. What they say, I mean, you can't pull yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Right.
You pulling at my foot. I'm trying to get up, but you won't let me. Every 2 steps forward, I got to take 3 steps back.
Right.
You understand? And that's the thing. Like, I don't understand what makes a black person think that voting somebody else in is going to help. It's going to, I'm going to get this next, because you know he ain't like them. How isn't he? He's about his nation and not about yours.
Right.
You understand? Keep reading that out.
Sir. Only recently has it begun shedding its lock 'em up mindset.
Go ahead.
In the 2020 presidential race, the disproportionate
The what?
disproportionate
The what?
disproportionate
Go ahead.
imprisonment of African American men has become a major issue, and it's posing an especially big challenge for Harris, California's first black U.S. senator. She is counting on strong support from African Americans.
She's counting on strong support from African Americans. She wants the support of those she locking up.
Right.
She wants the support of those she deemed less worthy of a second chance. You understand? She wants the support of you Negroes.
Right.
You understand? And then when you get in there, guess what she not going to support? You Negroes.
Right.
Once she get in there, she going to let all of her East Indian, British, American, whatever the hell mixtures they're trying to call themselves, she going to let it all out. She's going to show you how black she is not. You understand? Go ahead, Doc.
Hey, God, like she only says that she's so-called black when it benefits her.
Exactly.
When she first got elected, all of the stories I saw come out was she's the first Indian senator. Period. Like she's like male or female. She's the first Indian senator. So all of the articles was how she's Indian. She's Indian. They're from Jamaica, but we already know that the Edomites put Elam over a lot of stuff in Jamaica. So Elam was actually an oppressor to our East Indian brothers, West Indian brothers down there. So, like, but she don't ever claim to be so-called black unless it benefits her. She's Indian, and that's what she is.
Right. Right.
Like, we need to understand that she ain't our people, period.
Go ahead, Doc. Read this last portion of this little paragraph here.
Kind. But many black voters are wary of her 27 years as a prosecutor enforcing laws that sent African Americans to prison.
As if we need any more laws to put us in jail.
Right.
We got all the laws are directed at us, man. You understand? We don't need another damn law, Salakia. We don't need another law to go against Negroes, man. You understand? This is why it's imperative that we separate. Because, like I've been telling people for a long time, man, that marijuana is going to be a trick. It's going to be a loophole. That legalization of medical marijuana is going to be a loophole. And they're going to use it to abuse our people. Give me, where's that scripture, nakedness, so that they can look upon our nakedness, man. So, give me that scripture if you brothers can find that for me. But yeah, man, that there right there, man, is what we gotta understand is that allowing that marijuana for us that are drug heads, for our people who are not sound of mind, that was masterful trickery. You know what I'm saying? That right there that they did to us, that was something that's going to dupe us into oblivion, man. Like, cause so many of our people now, since it's become, like, you weren't necessarily a user before it became medical approved. Now a lot of our people have become users who wasn't originally smokers. You understand? Go ahead, Al.
That's like it, but a lot of states already, you know what I'm saying, they did it, but you know, our people weren't really paying attention. If you do get one of those cards and do get, you know, signed up and approved for that, you got to give away your rights to own a gun.
Right.
So if you caught with a firearm and you have that card, you automatically go into jail.
Right.
You ain't even had to commit a crime.
Right.
That in itself is the crime.
Right. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna break it down for you what the brother just said, because that's a heavy point. What he just said is this: is that you are automatically deemed under the influence. When you got a card, we can't tell when the last time you smoked. We don't know when you got high. We don't know the last time you took a drag or whatever the case may be. But you are automatically deemed under the influence. So if you're carrying a weapon, it's no different than if you had a weapon and you were drinking alcohol, you were belligerent. You understand? It's no different. So then don't turn around and then have to defend yourself. Then your whole defense is under scrutiny. You already have broken one law. Now we're going to go into was your mind in the right state to make this call to shoot this individual, to protect yourself. And then there you have the second charge, which is, of course, you use the weapon unlawfully. You understand? So then you got a person who dealt with gang violence, dealt with the crack epidemic down there in California, now trying to become the VP of the United States. And you got the same man, Joe Biden, that pushed the narrative of 3 strikes and how to lock away Negroes. Hey, so we just brought out how the reason for the 3 strikes law was done off of the back of white on white crime. If that ain't a hard hitter, man, I don't know if anything we said today ain't hard hitting as that, man. So go ahead, sir. God.
She started fighting to get the law reversed because her son turned around and is now in prison on the 3 strike.
Oh my goodness.
You understand?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so if that ain't something, this woman fought tooth and nail to get the 3 strike rule in effect.
God.
And I'm sure they named it after her and did everything, you know what I mean?
Right.
All kind of flowers and roses and corn.
God.
You know what I mean? But then as soon as her son got locked up, and now when it was us, she was fine with that.
Right.
You understand? But it was us getting locked up on the 3 strikes. But then when he got locked up on his 3rd strike, now she came out and said, no, this is all wrong. This is wrong. Look it up. Look it up.
Good damn night.
Look it up. She
Look at the Most High, man.
And she is now fighting against it. Yeah, and has been doing it for years. Now she been doing this for over, I believe, 10 years.
Good
You know what I'm
night.
saying? Because that law been in effect how long? 15 years?
Oh, it's been there for longer than that.
Yeah, it's been
there
there.
since-
I forgot how many years she been fighting it now.
Right.
But this is a while back. But yeah, she been doing this for a while.
Yeah. Look at the Most High, man. How you make you come turning right back around on his head.
Yeah.
You just don't lock when you wanted this law, we're gonna use the law. Even when it come to you. You understand? We don't use the law. You know what I'm saying? And that what the Lord did was something that was showing her how wicked she was being, man. You understand? That just showed her how wicked she's being. Now she's gonna fight and continue to fight and continue to fight to get her son released.
And she's an extreme hypocrite.
Exactly. Exactly.
She's the ultimate hypocrite.
You're damn
like,
right.
how you gonna vouch for it? You want this law and this how it need to be. But then when your son committing crime, it's no.
Right.
Wrong.
Hey, she needed to be like the mother on Blow. Remember when she called the cops on her own son? Hey, you need to go to jail. It's for your own good. She should have been like him, you know what I mean, like her, you know what I mean? Send his ass to jail. He committing crimes, he 3 strikes past, he needs to go to jail. Nah. Go ahead, Akbar, you have one?
So, I got that verse you look for.
Go ahead, we'll give it to him.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink.
Woe unto him. Woe means destruction, man. Let me help. I ain't gonna just say destruction. It means death and destruction. You understand? Keep reading.
That puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also.
Go back, read that from the top. They gotta understand this scripture, man. Read that from the top.
Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink.
Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink. Keep going.
That puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also.
Man, listen. I know you thinking, oh, this is liquor. He was talking about marijuana. It's the same thing. You understand? What we're talking about is getting your mind inebriated to where you're not clearly thinking. You understand? And that's what liquor does. If you drinking and you continue to drink and you continue to drink, you're going to be inebriated and your mind is not going to be thinking clearly. Same thing with marijuana. You take one puff, though. You don't have to keep puffing. You take 1 puff, 2 puff, 3 puff, before you know it, you are out of your mind. You understand? And now you are not clearly thinking. You understand? It doesn't take a certain amount of time or a certain amount of drinks. Well, I mean, of course now, because you probably a dope head beyond your years. You've been drinking and now you're smoking up all the dope that you can find in Kansas City. So of course now you think now it takes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blunts for you to feel something. But the moment you took the first hit, you were high. Right. You understand? It's in your system, it's in your blood, it's in your lungs. You're high. But the scripture here is breaking down that if you put it to a man's mouth or put it to him, keep reading.
That thou mayest look on their nakedness.
See, this is the reason for it. The reason for it is so that you can look at our nakedness. Let's take this spirit of the Bible and the spirit of the black man and put it together, because that's who wrote this Bible, the black man. So when it says looking upon his nakedness, it means it caught you slipping. It caught you when you wasn't ready. You understand? And that's what they're doing with marijuana. That's what they're doing with these vices that they're giving our people. They're trying to make sure that we're off our square and we're not prepared for the things that they're about to do to us. Go ahead, I.
We still use the same thing today. You got caught with your pants down.
You got caught naked. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why you know this Bible was written by a Negro, man. This is written by niggas, man.
That's a lot.
Go ahead, I.
I think your brother older than me.
Right, God.
I ain't heard that one in a while.
Caught you with your pants down.
Right.
Uncle Elroy.
Hey, I ain't heard that one in a while.
Right.
I'm getting some old ones, but I ain't caught you with your pants down. Very nice. And what you saying is heavy too, because I mean that black folks and Hispanics, man, we metaphorical all day long with everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? We say everything like that. You know what I mean? We're the only people on the planet that actually do that. You know what I mean? So I don't see how that you can't come in the Isupk-St or the Command Junior Hana and get this broken down to you and don't understand it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's us all day.
Right.
That's us all day. And we've been talking like this forever, man. You understand? We've been talking symbolically and metaphorically since forever.
Right.
That's how the Most High talk. You know what I'm saying? We talking slang and metaphorically too. You know, that's where we get it from. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was a good one.
Exactly.
That was an actual scripture, and you know what I'm saying, you got caught with your pants down.
Exactly. and that's what Negroes don't understand.
And that's the point of, You know what I'm saying? Like we said, your nakedness, like they ain't saying that you just, saw him coming out the shower.
Right.
You know what I mean? I done turned around and I done caught you. You know what I'm saying? And now I done took over and I took advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro.
Precept, Isaiah 47 verse 3.
Go ahead,
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen.
Thy shame. It's a shame that Negroes don't understand that we should not be voting here in America, man.
Right.
We can't understand it. Why? Because what? They can put that bottle to us.
Yeah.
You understand? We steadily drunken out here. We steadily inebriated out here, man. Our minds are not clear. So, of course, like the brother said, our nakedness is shown. Go ahead, keep reading.
I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Right. See, that's the thing, man. The Lord is angry at that, man. He ain't going to let that go unpunished, man. He ain't going to let them continue to take advantage of us, man. He's not going to let them continue to destroy us. But first things first, we got to get in order. We got to understand that there are things that we're supposed to do, man. Go ahead and give me Deuteronomy 17. 17:15. There's things that we got to do. The first things first, man, is follow the orders given to you, man. The Lord said a bunch of orders in this book, and we got to follow them. If we want to come out of this hell, man, or else guess what? They'll continue to look upon our nakedness, to look upon our shame. You understand? To make sure that they give us the next device, because you know they come. It's like every 2 or 3 years, the scientists they make up another drug, and then here we are, we own it. How is it that it makes it from the lab? It goes across all these counties and districts, and it makes it straight to the hood, in the ghetto, and in the barrio. Why does it make it to us? That's all I want to know. Go ahead, Doc.
See, that's what I'm talking about in Psalms 83 or 83:3, where they are confederate against us.
They confederate.
They come up with it in their lab, then they have their record and music executives have their artists push it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it appears in the hood, this super like medicine that you can't get unless you got like 8 different signatures and FDA and FBI background.
Right.
It's like you can't even find it in some countries. All of a sudden, just every nigga in the hood got it.
That's right.
How? Because it was built that way.
Exactly.
They made it for that.
And this is the system black people trying to vote for. This is the system we trying to vote in.
Right.
They got so many avenues. It could be 22,000 black people who enter into politics today and get a seat in office. Ain't shit sloppy. Ain't nothing gonna change.
Right.
You understand that? Read that scripture for me, y'all.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
The Lord said, thou shalt not in any wise. The word any wise means in any way. You should not do this in no way. In any means no. No in this point, in this scripture, it means no. In any way. You should not do it in any way. In any wise should you do this. No way should you do this. So he's telling you directly, don't set him king over thee, man. Don't set Trump king over you. Don't set Biden king over you. Don't set Barack Obama king over you. You understand? Keep reading.
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose, though. Go ahead.
One from among thy brethren.
One from among thy brethren. Who is that? Who is that one from amongst our brethren? He spoke about in these scriptures. Go ahead, Al. No doubt, Yahushua. The hardcore man, black man. Let me put that to you. Black man that ever walked the face of the earth.
Right.
You understand? A real revolutionary.
Right.
Whose spirit dwell with us in the UPK, man. You understand? This is why we so militant. This is why we have that spirit of no cowards, and we ain't backing down, but we're gonna take ground. That's why we have that, because this is the spirit Christ had, man. You understand? And by us doing what we're doing in the UPK, this is us putting our vote in.
Right.
This is how we vote.
Right.
We vote by getting in here, changing ourselves, and taking on the spirit of Yahushua, so that when it's time, he gonna know who voted for him. He gonna put us in office. Right. You understand that? We gonna be in rulership, man. You understand? That's the goal here in the UPK. We ain't doing this just to get the kingdom. We doing this for rulership, right? You understand? Keep reading, right?
Con. Shalt thou set king over thee.
That's what the Lord said, the one he chose. Y'all should set him king over thee. Keep reading.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
What's a stranger? A man of another nation.
Right.
Those of another nation. I should not set Kamala Harris over me. I should not set Joe Biden over me. I should not set any of the 42, how many presidents? I don't even keep up with them because they ain't nobody to me.
Right.
45. I should not set any of the 45 that's been in there over me. You understand? Go ahead, sir. You got something to say?
Yeah, so like I just think that opposed a couple of things we were talking about on this voting thing. I had a sister that I just broke that down to. She said, I never knew that God said not to vote.
Oh.
I said, oh, you did? I said, oh, that's why you got that stick on your shirt. Come on, I voted. They do the same dumb sticker every year, man. They really make the slave think they did something. Like, that is so ridiculous.
Right.
You know, I would rather come out of the doctor's office getting the damn shot and getting the Band-Aid on me, you know what I'm saying? And the something with a goddamn I voted sticker.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. But I turned around and showed her that, and she understood it. She got it. But guess what? They're gonna vote. And then I see the sister that made a post talking about, okay, y'all, I finally came to my senses. And she said, I'm voting Biden. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my God. You did not come to your senses.
Right.
You're just showing how dumb you still are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Voting, I mean, we get disappointed every single year, every election. You know what I mean? At voting.
Right.
You know, like Cat Williams, he said he said it being comical, but it was extremely true. When he said, man, yeah, he said when we voted Barack Obama, niggas was strong, like happy about it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He gonna do something, he gonna this. And he said after that, he said, oh, nigga, give him some time, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's going through some shit. You know,
Right.
they changed the whole little aspect, and that's how we do after every president.
You make excuses.
You know what I mean? We turn around and we get souped up on, I remember a long time ago, it used to be the taxes. No taxes. You know, and I learned this in high school when he turned around and the devil told me, because they was talking about voting in class. And I said, man, what's up with the tax thing? I said, why don't every president come up and say, no more taxes. I'm going to lower taxes. We're going to get rid of taxes. No more taxes, right?
God.
And then he said, man, that's extremely impossible for them to even do. That's how they're going to fix anything that you want done in the city. You know what I'm saying? They can't. You got to tax.
Right.
You know what I mean? The money got to come from somewhere. So it was like, they line that just to get the damn vote. You told me that a long time ago. You know, and all of them do that. They all lie just to get a damn vote.
Right.
They all say what they gonna do. And then they kill me with the bash contest. They got a commercial about the other one.
Right.
Who's just as big and
High
criminal as the one you talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know who? When I get in office, I won't do like him.
Right.
And I won't raise taxes.
Right.
I won't turn around and cut back jobs.
Right.
I won't lower the minimum wage. I'm going to raise it. And I'm saying, I'm like, come on, man, you ain't gonna do nothing when you get in there.
Right.
You understand? Especially for us. Especially for us. You're gonna get in that office, you're gonna do what they tell you to do, and that's gonna be the end of it. You know what I mean? And guess what? They ain't gonna do nothing for us on the list. Say supposedly when Trump was in office, and he calling all these black celebrities, like what's his name? Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Number one big dummy. He turned around and when the president called you, you gotta call him.
Yeah, you got to go.
It's like he told me to bend over, so I had to bend over. You know what I'm saying? It was disgusting. And then so-called, he got all these urban projects, you know what I mean, that he's supposed to be coming up with. He got all this urban development. He want to redevelop the projects and the ghettos and put all these apartments and all this mess, and didn't do a thing.
Right.
One of them preachers, I forgot his name, man, but he was over. Well, you might know. He was over the money in the department. It said, I think, with the rehabbing of the housing project, and it never even took off. Supposedly, so many millions of dollars in this damn thing, and it didn't even take off at all.
Right.
It's still sitting. They didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what we fall for every damn election.
Right.
Is somebody get up there, lie, say what they gonna do, call the damn. They had, what's his name? When Barack Obama, when they had every black celebrity. Oh, what did Pete did? He say vote or die? Did he say
Yeah, vote or die.
Vote or
Vote or
die.
die.
Who else said something magical and stupid like that? It was somebody, man. God damn, all of them were saying stuff.
That was who made the slogan "Vote for Change" or vote. It was
that was I think that was Obama. Yeah,
that was his slogan.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
Obama. I
okay.
think vote for change.
Okay.
And then it turned to change or something. Go ahead, come on.
It was change you can believe in.
Change you can believe in. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
And that was Barack Obama too.
Yeah.
And guess what? I didn't believe in it when his ass said it.
Right.
Because he gave us nothing to believe in.
Right.
You understand? He turned around and gave Negroes track phones instead of jobs.
God,
You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't you give a nigga a job?
God.
You understand?
God.
If you, and he can buy his own boots phone and get, you know what I'm saying, unlimited talking text for $35.
Hey, Salaki, sir. Salaki, sir. Hey, I'm gonna have to hit you like the ball hit me. He didn't even do that. That wasn't even his write up. That wasn't his write up. That was scheduled to come out on his term. Tell him the ball. Hey, that wasn't his write up.
So the whole thing with the phone, it was passed around during Clinton's era, but
Right.
Bush signed it into law, and it was set to come out, but the date it was coming out was after Bush's term. Obama was in office, so it came out when he was in office, but he had nothing to do with any of the bills or any of the phones coming out at all.
Yeah.
They just called them Obama phones because
It was his
He
era.
was- he was out.
So he don't even get the credit for that.
Everything, even with the Obamacare. They that was Romney care first. It was Romney care.
Okay,
That's how
God.
they do everything. They sit back and plan this stuff for years ahead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't turn around and wake up and just hit a lick. You know what I mean? Like we do. You know,
Right.
they can need $20 for some gas. You get